Welcome to Pardon My Geek, where nerd culture is taken very seriously and not seriously at all. I am your host, Josiah Short. I am joined by my best friend and my co-host, Quinn Hogan. Quinn, why don't you say hello?
Hi all. I am the secondary host. Joe will be leading us through most of the topics today.
Yes, and as you just heard from Quinn, I am sometimes called Joe. That is a high school nickname that never went away, and I am okay with that. Yeah, I guess that it started in middle school. Well, really, I had a lot of nicknames in middle school because I had no idea you could have nicknames in middle school. So, welcome to Pardon My Geek. This is a podcast where me and Quinn will talk about everything that's going on geek related. So that's movie, TV show, comics, books, video games, really anything we really want to talk about that has to do with pop culture that, maybe some of you don't know a lot about, but I'm usually always talking to Quinn about it. And so I said, hey, why don't we make something of a podcast about this? Because I'm always telling him about these nerdy things, and he's always responded back with other nerdy things. So it's a good equal.
Exactly. I mean, like Joe said, we've talked about nerd stuff for a while, and I've always personally wanted to get into some sort of creative field. Joe has experience in filmmaking and editing, and so when Joe approached me about this podcast, I was 100% on board. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things I like talking about. So I can't wait to kind of fully dive into this podcast.
Yeah, and as Quinn said, I'm not a professional filmmaker. I will label myself as a professional filmmaker.
You get paid
and
as a
so
professional.
I get paid sometimes for every now and then as a freelancer. So I will be reviewing movies a lot from a fan perspective, but also from the filmmaker's perspective, knowing what goes into film and having done editing and filming myself. And Quinn, on the other hand, he's going to be the other side of the coin, where he's just going to come in as a fan who maybe knows some things about the franchise, maybe not, but then we both know something about something, and then we inform the others about that thing.
Yeah, I tend to be more about the writing aspect. So
Which is key for any movie.
yeah,
It's
key,
important.
100%. I have my criticisms about today's topics with this writing, which I've talked to Joe about after we watched it.
Yep. And then I said that it is perfect, and that's where we are both equal amounts of intelligent and not intelligent at the same time.
We are both idiots and not.
Idiots and not. I love it. All right. Quinn, why don't you tell them what our episodes will look like from here on out?
Of course. So we start off with an intro. We're going to have an intro every episode theoretically, and then we're going to do some small talk. Usually just how our days have been going, anything interesting going on in our personal lives. Usually that shouldn't take too long, then we'll jump into the news. Usually it's news that Joe brings on, since he's more into that type of stuff than I am. And it'll be trailers, release dates, what's happenings and stuff. And then we'll get into our main topic, which will be just a discussion, games, challenges, rankings, whatever about some form of media, movie, show, game, or comic, some world, Marvel, DC, or just some other thing in nerd culture. Like today's topic is not related to any major studio, but it is a major nerd thing that is quite large. I don't know if you want to reveal the topic now or wait till after our news and trailers and stuff.
But we can wait. We can let them settle in and just get comfortable with our voices.
Perfect. So yeah, that's usually how it plays out. Today's going to be a discussion on a movie me and Joe had watched. Next episode might be a challenge or a ranking or a game of some sort that we'll play that ties into some sort of nerd culture in some way. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, what have you.
Exactly. Great recap. That is exactly how we're going to do it. And at the end, kind of like Quinn said, I will be kind of proposing something for Quinn if we want to do a movie review, if he has time to go out to the movies, because maybe he doesn't, or if he has time just to sit at home and binge a series, maybe we'll do that. But like he said, we're just going to discuss that at the end. So then the audience, you guys can follow along with us, and you have homework, but it's fun homework, not the dumb, crappy paper homework.
Bio is fun. Chemistry sucks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Spencer was trying to quiz me on chemistry the other day when we were working on our snowmobiles. He's like, "What makes it ionic? It touches metal." And I was like, what? I had no idea what he was talking about. I thought I did. I didn't. I did not.
It's been since high school since you've taken a chem class? Or did...
Yep, I didn't take one in college. I was too scared to do it because I didn't do good in high school for chemistry. So I was like, I'm just going to do my best to avoid it and not do it in college. So I stayed away from it.
I thought the same thing about physics, but it's coming knocking and I have to answer.
And here we are in physics class. Understandable. So why don't we get into some small talk? Quinn, how have you been? It's been a while.
Right? It's been a hot minute. I've been good. I'm doing well in my classes. I've just been playing a lot of video games and doing classwork and stuff. Yeah, just being me, doing me things. So yeah, my small talk's not gonna be very unique. Most times it's gonna be playing video games, doing schoolwork, and being me.
You know what? And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes you'll tell a story that you heard, or maybe you won't have an exciting life, and that is okay. And that's when we can focus more on the topic.
Exactly. How about yourself, Joe?
I'm trying. My life is a little bit busy right now, because I recently graduated from CUCC with my associates in December, and so I kind of took January off and kind of was putting out feelers, trying to get ready for February when I was trying to start school. And since then, I've been trying to call this guy from GCU, Grand Canyon University, which is my top school that I think I'm going to. But I'm trying to get this guy on the phone call. Yesterday was a holiday. Oh, not yesterday. Sorry. Monday was a holiday when I was free and I could call. And so I totally forgot, and I called him like 4 times and was getting really pissed that he wasn't calling me back. And I was like, oh my gosh, why won't you call? And then like later that night, and I was telling my mom about it. She's like, well, it is a holiday. And I went, oh, now I feel like a butt. Now I just feel, I felt really bad. I called him back and left a message saying, I'm so sorry. I forgot today was a holiday that you probably have off. I didn't mean to. Please call me on Wednesday. So that happened, and so I'll probably have a phone call with him later today to finalize schedule and classes, and hopefully I will start before the month ends, but I will see, and I will keep you updated. That's really my schooling like situation. And then this weekend is winter camp 2026 with our youth group, and so I am super pumped because I just got a whole bunch of new camera gear, a brand new lens 24 to 105. Super pumped. Got a new cage for Christmas from my uncle so I can add on handles and microphones and all the fun accessories. And I have a team. I actually have a video team that I am leading, that I have been for the past couple months, which is super fun and exciting for me because for a long time I was the video team. Like, it was called the video team, but it was just me and like Ivan, my best friend, who would just help me move stuff around, and I just put him on the team so because he didn't want to be on any other team. So I was like, yeah, just be on my team. But like, really, it was just me on that team. But we have merged social media team and video team, me, into one. And so now I lead media team, as I said we're going to call it now, instead of just video or social media team. So now I'm in charge of all of the video stuff and social media stuff, helping with that, and it's super fun. I love my team.
I question why it was separate in the first place. Like, it makes so much sense that they'd be together, especially since you were running solo. Like, wouldn't it would just make more sense for you to join them or them to join you and just combine it. It'd be less work on both of you.
Yep, and you bring up a brilliant point because it wasn't separate, and one of the reasons was because video team actually started before social media team. social media team was really just some old guy, or no, it was I think it was our worship pastor that had access to like our full church Instagram and our youth Instagram, and so they just posted like graphics about upcoming events. It was never really interesting or fun until we got a new youth pastor, and then he started posting some stuff, and then eventually I started the video team doing videos for events, taking pictures and all of that. And then like maybe a year later, we had some of our youth take up the social media aspect, but all they did was like post pictures and stuff. And so half the time they would come to me for reels and things to make for them. And so eventually I just started making stuff for them. Even when we were separate teams later on, when it was social media team and video team, I would I would lend myself out and my equipment out to the social media team and help them record and edit complicated reels. But they started it. They started it without me. I was gone for the summer, and they kind of started their team, and it was really just one person, and I knew her pretty well, and so she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to start it." And so I came back from Tadmore, and I was like, "Oh, you've started a team. This is pretty sweet." She was like, "Yes, I need you desperately." I was like, "Oh, okay. Sorry, I was gone for so long." She did good, but I came back and she was like, "Thank you so much for coming back."
She needs the experience that you have.
She did, but she also gained like independent experience, which I think is very important for anything media related, is how to do it by yourself when you're by yourself and not relying on a team. But because I've been doing that for like 10 years now, December was my 10-year anniversary of doing editing and filmmaking. It's so nice to have like some teams for like big projects like winter camp, where I can like say, "Okay, we're going to be doing this. I need some of you on this." Last Wednesday I had a little short lesson about, "Hey, this is the camera. This is how I want you to record." I was just saying to use your phones for that, which was super simple. I told them how to change the settings to get better quality. It was really fun. And yeah, so that's really my adventures coming up this coming weekend, so I'm excited for that. If you are interested on winter camp from last year, I just posted a video earlier this week from last year. Super fun video on my channel. Love it. So go watch that at J Short Productions. And that is it for my small talk. Quinn, why don't you introduce us to our next segment, the nerdy news.
The nerdy news. So, usually with nerdy news, we talk about release dates and trailers. Don't know if Joe has any release dates for us, but we have a bunch of trailers to talk about since a lot of stuff was released within the past month. Since this is our first episode, we're kind of playing catch up with some of the bigger releases compared to a normal week. This week, I imagine we're going to have more trailers than we would next week, or whenever next we film the podcast, next week, next month, whatever. Just due to the amount of catch-up we have to do. So, yeah. And Joe, what is our first trailer that we are looking at?
Well, I had you look at the first trailer, which was the Spider Noir series coming to Amazon on May 25th, starring Nicolas Cage.
Reprising his role from the animated series, the Spider-Verse series.
I think it's definitely taking inspiration. There are rumors that saying that it's just a live-action part of that, and that it is the Spider Noir from the Spider-Verse, and that I saw one theory on the end that said it should end the series on the final episode with the portal opening, like with like Gwen coming out and saying, "Hey, we need you," and he walks through. And honestly, I think that would be awesome if they were able to relate this to the Spider-Verse. That would just make the series all the more better, in my opinion.
I think either option would be fantastic. I think Nicolas Cage needs his time to shine as Spider Noir, even if it's independent from the Spider-Verse films. And honestly, it would be nice to have something standalone that isn't part of a bigger picture, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of the issue that a lot of people have with the Marvel Universe, is that you kind of need to watch everything to understand the full story. So it'd be kind of nice to have a Spider Noir film that doesn't have anything to do with anything else, and you can just watch it for what it is, which is Nick Cage being a moody a moody guy, a moody Spider-Man.
Oh, my favorite is when like he's talking about his day and like they're I don't know where, but like in a bar, and he's just like, and I just got plastered. I'm like, that is so Nick Cage that
To Nick Cage delivery.
I wouldn't even need to like see his face. Like he could wear that Spider-Man mask the whole time, and I would know it's Nick Cage just from that.
Oh yeah.
And when he's fighting, and then like he lifts up his mask to take a drink, that is classic comic book Spider-Man right there. I geeked out so hard for that. I was like, oh, there it is, because I don't think they do that enough in the movies. They don't show like that.
They don't
Part
play enough
of
with like
Spider-Man.
the mask and like the moving things. Because you mentioned
Yeah.
you see it a lot in like other media, like games and comics, where like Peter or Miles lifts their masks, like take a drink or something, or eat something, and they lower it back down again. Yeah, you never really see it in the movies. Probably because the mask is partly CG, so it'd be hard to do. But
Not all the time, but yeah, you are right. But that was really fun to see. That comes out on May 25th, as I said before. It's a series, and so knowing Amazon, it's going to be an episode every week. Yeah, they did the 2, which was really fun, and I actually liked it because they know exactly what 2 to put out as well. Like when they put out 2, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch 1 and save it for the next weekend, and then I can get 2 next weekend. But like they specifically do it so where you watch and you're like, I need to see the next one. So that is really good. I'm really excited for that one.
coming out in both black and white and color, which if you're
Yes,
smart, you'd go black and white because that's the only true way to watch a Spider Noir show.
that is the true way to watch it, I think, and you should not argue with that. And if you do, I will find you and beat you. So, the short description for the show on IMBD is: an aging and down on his luck private investigator in the 1930s New York is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. So, man, they're really going into it. If this is true to comics, then it is going to be very dark, and this is probably the reason why it's on Amazon and why Marvel didn't really want it on theirs. I don't know the specifics about their deal and why it's on Amazon right now, but because it's on Amazon leads me to believe that they're going true backstory. And really the backstory is that he was a soldier in World War One, I believe, and then has some sort of no, it was like World War One, I think. But then like his whole like stick is punching Nazis. Like he loves punching Nazis. You probably remember that from the Spider-Verse, but that is like true. He punches Nazis. And honestly, yeah, so I don't know if he was a soldier in World War One or World War Two before he got his powers, but I remember he's a soldier and then gets his powers, and he grapples with like the PTSD aspect of it. I may be completely off. I haven't dived into Spider Noir as much as I probably should, but I am really excited for this series.
Yeah, I dove into a little bit after the first Spider-Verse film because like, oh, this character's great. What is he all about? And then had like the fucking, the freaking horror experience of realizing, oh, this is different. This isn't the quirky Nick Cage from the Spider-Verse films. This is dark. Like Uncle Ben gets eaten by like a vampire bat thing. It's like super.
Yes. I remember that. Yes, he does. And like all of those villains aren't like fun, quirky ones like 616 Spider-Man deals with. Like you see in the trailer, the man spider, like half of his face is like a spider, but it's just freaky.
It kind of reminds me of like what DC is doing with this Absolute universe currently, with like Absolute Joker and Absolute Killer Croc, where they're like massive monstrous things. They're not the the quirky villains that you see from the mainline DC comics.
Right.
Yeah, they're like basically horror, like horror shows in of themselves. So I can is very similar to like that.
I agree. And I don't know if this like opens the door for like other related Marvel projects. Like there's a lot of darker projects in Marvel. I don't know if this is like their avenue to do that, but I guess we'll see how well this does. If it does good, then maybe, but if it doesn't, then I can see them just dropping it.
Thing is though, it's like Marvel audience has been growing a lot over the years, so I could see 100% see this being um, their avenue, their go in for more mature content for the growing more mature audience.
Right.
Yeah, we have been talking about trailer for this one trailer for a while. We should we should move on so we can get to our.
We should move on. We may skip a couple that we have on our list and save them for next week. But Spider Noir, that is really the next big Marvel thing. And next week we will talk about the other Marvel show coming out in March. You probably know what that is about. We'll talk about that then. The next trailer I had you watch was Project Hail Mary. Now, I'm so glad you're excited because I am pumped for this. This just got announced that it's getting a 7mm IMAX release. Oh, this is this generation's Interstellar. This is going to be one of the greatest movies of this year for sure. Even with Doomsday coming out in December, I think this is going to stand the test of time.
I love cosmic horror. I've kind of shared with you a couple of cosmic horror ideas I've had in the past. I love cosmic horror, and this is. What do you consider it? Horror is cosmic in nature. Horror
I would call it a thriller.
thriller.
I would say a thriller.
Yeah, the thing with cosmic is that it is horror in of itself because space is really scary. Just the idea that there is nothing out there and that there is this plague that's killing planets and that's coming after Earth. Like it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good. I am pumped for this because when I saw this whole thing, Project Hail Mary, the first trailer was released so long ago.
While we were watching Fire and Ash, and I think that was the first trailer I saw of it. Maybe it was there's no. I was watching something with my parents one time, and there's a trailer there. Yeah, when was the first trailer released?
Let's see. The first like trailer was June 30th, 2025. So almost like a year from its release date, which is how I think you should do trailers. I mean, you got to get people like interested in your movie. So like release the trailer a year before, and then as it gets closer, you release a couple more and stuff. But I was trying to remember. I thought there was a teaser all the way back in like winter of 2025. I thought I remember watching something in the winter, and I was like, "What the heck is this thing?" Because after that, I went on like a little spree and I went looking for the Project Hail Mary and found out that it was all based on a book. And I was like, it's a book? And then I saw that it was written by Andy Weir. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Who also wrote The Martian, which was made into a movie.
I think Project Hail Mary is the sequel,
Yeah,
spiritual successor to The Martian.
it's like a successor. It's not direct sequel. It's not. I don't think it's in the same universe, like same world. I don't think so. I think it's just like his second story or his successor story, like you said.
Yeah, he found his niche with the cosmic and space stuff. So
100%. So that movie is coming out on March 20th, and you better believe that we will be reviewing that 100%.
Soon after your birthday, right? When's your birthday? March.
Yes, March 6th. March 6th.
So it's in the same month. I thought your birthday was a teen day.
Yeah, well, it's a Friday, but Hoppers releases on my birthday, and yes, it's Pixar's next film, right next to Toy Story 5. It's not getting enough buzz as like 5 is, but I think Hoppers is going to do it's going to do pretty well just because it's kind of in that early March phase where there's really nothing new going on.
Yeah.
So I think it's
kind of a desert for new content.
Yes, I think people are going to be like, what's new? And they're going to be like, oh, I'll go watch this Pixar movie. It looks cute. It's basically a kid's version of Avatar with animals. So that's Project Hail Mary. I don't know if you had anything else to say on that.
Nope, just super pumped for it.
super pumped. And then I think we're gonna end this segment on Disclosure Day.
This one I didn't
So,
hear of until before this podcast started.
which is crazy to me because when this trailer came out, it was like the buzz for me. Then again, I'm like involved in all of the nerd stuff. So
You're involved in like all the filmmaking nerd things.
all the filmmaking things, and so I was pumped. This is Steven Spielberg at his finest. Now is coming out in June 12th. So really, the description for this is: if you found out you weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you? That is it. That is literally the description of the movie. That is all we get. The trailers are super confusing, yet they make you want to know every single little detail what this movie is going to be about. Oh, I'm kind of pumped because Steven Spielberg shines in like summer movies, and besides the Odyssey, which we will talk about here soon in the upcoming weeks with Christopher Nolan, this is the only other big project releasing in the summer that I can find that has everybody's attention. Like, this is going to be, I think it's going to be incredible. This stars Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Evie Heminson, I think that's what you're playing, Coleman Domingo, Wyatt Russell, Colin Firth, and a couple other actors and actresses. So you got that big star with Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor. He is an up and coming. I really like his stuff he's doing.
Wyatt Russell has kind of been growing recently with
I love
Wyatt
Russell.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Wyatt Russell. People gave him a lot of crap back in the day, but like since he came on Winter Soldier and he came out as US agent, I was like, this guy is good. He knows how to play a crazy but like also sane guy. Like he was nuts, but like he made sense.
It's so fascinating. Yeah. So Wyatt Russell's been growing a lot recently as like an up and coming name to look out for.
Yes, and then Josh O'Connor, he was in Wake Up Dead Men, the Knives Out mystery, the third one.
Oh yeah, he was the pastor, right?
He was the priest. He was the priest. It was awesome. He was also in Challengers as Patrick. Whew, that movie made me want to throw something at the TV. Let's just say that. My gosh. Your thoughts after watching that trailer? What do you think about this movie?
So, I'm not because I don't have any kind of preconceived notion, and I haven't really watched a lot of Spielberg stuff. I don't really have any preconceived like excitement for it. The question that I asked of like how would you react if you were told aliens were real is very interesting. Because I asked myself that a lot. Like, what if I knew aliens were real? I'm interested to see what it does with the religion themes that definitely was like, definitely was showing. Because there's a scene where it was focusing on a cross. The nuns were a major part, both in Mission Control and at the end, where the nun asks, if the God made the universe this large, why leave it to only humans? So I'm curious where they go with that. Whether it be I don't want to say a dissection, but like analysis of Christianity, or if it's just a mode of discussing the story. I'm interested to see where that comes into play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And they definitely play into that theme in the trailers. And I'm wondering how much of that is going to play into the actual movie itself. It probably will be a heavy, like, part of it. And, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, that is a very prominent question for anybody, really.
I was going to say, it's a very real question, I imagine.
Well, it's very real. Like, what if there's, like, aliens out there? What do you do? If you know, do you tell? Or is it like, do I just keep it for myself and like let others figure it out like I did, or is like, do I need to tell them? And I think that's what that movie's gonna be dealing with. I have no idea what the animal thing is all about. Like, yeah, the deer, and then like in all the movie posters, it's like the actor's face and then like a bird in front of their eye and then the whole eye changing color thing. Like, this movie has got me turned upside down.
Right? It's a Spielberg movie.
It is. We're 100%. It is a Spielberg movie. That is a great, yes. But it is a Spielberg movie. Like, that's also something you should be like celebrating about because it's Spielberg. He made Jaws and Jurassic Park. Like, come on.
Yeah. So except for that, I'll wait to see what others have to say about it.
Right.
And I'll wait to see. I'll watch some of the upcoming trailers. You're excited for it. I'll watch some of the upcoming trailers. See if they can convince me to start being excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one last thing for that. That is how you do a trailer. Okay, movie business. That is how you do a trailer. I came out of that trailer and I had to rewatch it because I had no idea what was going on because I was like, what the heck did I just watch? Rewatched it. Still came out of there going, what the heck did I just watch? So I know nothing about this film. And that is the way Steven Spielberg has played this movie. From what I've read, he's had like massive NDIs that people can't talk anything about it. Like, this is the closest kept movie almost like ever compared to like Endgame. Like, Endgame we know very, very little because Marvel made it that way. That's the same. Like, we know nothing. Nobody knows nothing. Not even the actors knew what was going on until their day of filming. I don't think they even know what they filmed.
Right? They left.
I can guarantee.
Like, what the crap? What did I just do?
I bet they were like, what the heck is this? What am I doing? Emily Blunt's over there like, well, I got a paycheck. This is cool.
It's Spielberg. I got a couple $1 million from this.
Yeah, got a couple million. I'm good. All right, bye guys.
Good luck with filming. Yeah. It's time for a geek dive. Let's dive into today's topic, which I will introduce. Will be Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Woo!
Woo! One of the largest films that's come out in the past year by... I'm a professional. I know who this is by. I know who did this movie. Trust me.
He does.
Yep. James Cameron. That's the name.
There it is. There it is. This is James Cameron's baby.
This is the third film of the Avatar series, a much beloved series, which I have no previous familiarity with. Unlike Joe, if you want to introduce Avatar and your familiarity with it.
Yeah, so Avatar, I mean, I kind of stumbled upon it during COVID year, 2020, when I did homeschool for a year, and so I had a lot of time at home. And so I think and I was just getting a little bit older, so I was staying up later, and I just found myself kind of surfing Disney Plus, and I remember finding Avatar, and I was like, oh yeah, I've always heard about this. My parents said it was awesome in the movies, but overall it was just a dumb movie. And I was like, I'm going to kind of give this a try. I think I saw a clip or something on YouTube, and what really drew me in was the RDA, the like helicopter technology and the like airships. Like, I'm always interested in like what filmmakers think our future machinery is going to be like, and so that kind of drew me in first, not realizing what I was getting myself into. And so I watched that one fateful night, and after that I was like, this is a sweet movie. I really loved it. But it wasn't then when I started like getting really into it, but it was when I realized a couple years later that the second movie was coming out, and I was like, oh, they're going to make another one, because the first Avatar came out in 2009.
I was gonna say,
and it
pre-2010
blew up. It like crushed every single box office record there was, and so it made off the top of my head, I think it made around like 2 billion, something around that.
Yeah, it made a lot.
It made like a crap ton of money. Like, you have too much money.
Or was Titanic still on top afterwards?
I don't remember. But like, it doesn't matter because they were both by James Cameron.
They're both James Cameron.
They're both James Cameron, Titanic and Avatar. Like, he did both of them. Like, what was this guy on? Like, this guy made a deal with the angel or devil or something. What the heck? Something happened there. But, and then the second movie was coming out in 2022, right? I think that's right. Quinn will fact check me. He will look that up. But that was probably one of the most anticipated movies of the decade because, I mean, no one had gone with, everybody had gone with Avatar like in 2009 and they were like, it was great. And then nothing came out until that movie. And then everybody's like, oh, they're doing it again. Except this time it was all about underwater. And I remember reading something that James wanted to do this sooner, but he couldn't because he didn't have the technology to actually do motion capture underwater. Like they needed to do like underwater scenes, but he couldn't figure out how to do that, but make the water look as realistic as possible. And so he had to just wait until the technology was created. And eventually he didn't wait and he just created it himself. And so he was like, you know what? Screw the system. I'm going to do it myself. So he created like a whole new image capturing system with his actors for motion capture to do underwater scenes. And that's why I think some of the underwater scenes in the second movie look so good, like better than when they're outside, just because he put a lot more attention to detail into that certain part of the film. And you can totally see it when you watch that movie. There is a lot of time spent underwater. He is definitely flexing his muscle, and I do not blame James for doing
What
that.
I made, isn't this?
Oh, 100%. He's like, yeah, check out these guns. And so that was crazy. And that was also the first IMAX 3D movie I ever saw. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But holy crap. What they make Avatar movies specifically for IMAX 3D, and they were not lying. That water movie, the fish were like pretty much swimming out to my face. And I was like, what? The first time you see a IMAX 3D, it catches you off guard. Like, the first time. It's only the first time, because then you're used to it. But, like, the first time is a memorable experience. So I will always remember that, and the second one will have a special place in my heart. But, man, that was a great, great second movie. And then after that, I just kind of became, yeah, I guess you could say obsessed with James Cameron and like his Avatar and his knowledge. And I just watched an interview with him and Christopher Nolan talking about how film like dictates where our science goes. Like, if you look all the way back to like 2001 Space Odyssey, like that had iPads in it. Like that was the first like touchscreen iPad, but it was in a movie that came out in the 80s. Or was that was 50s, wasn't it? Fact check. But that had an 68, thank you. Yep, 60s. But that had iPads in it. Apple wasn't even like established
I was gonna say Apple
in the
was
60s.
was in a garage at that.
Yeah, I think it was like a garage, or maybe it wasn't even. Maybe Steve Jobs was still a kid. Anyway, but they had Apples, and they had like Apple iPads that Apple then went and said, "Hey, you remember that movie? We made it real." And so, like science fiction movies pretty much dictate where our innovation is going. And so I saw this interview, and they were talking about how much pressure it is sometimes to make this movie feel real, because they know maybe eventually, long after they're gone, that it will be possible. It could be real. And so I was like, that is wild, but true. So, yeah, became obsessed with James and stuff. And then the third movie came out, and I was like, let's go. I'm really excited to see this. And this was like the ending of the trilogy. It was like supposed to be like the full circle moment from Way of Water, because Way of Water definitely felt like a first part. They ended it, but like it's definitely still felt like a first part. And so the third was like to like cap it off and like actually put an ending to that really sad second movie. And so I went and watched that Thursday night premiere night with Quinn, and it was like a maybe I would say 70% full theater.
It wasn't like depressing.
No, it wasn't sad. I've seen sad premiere nights. That wasn't sad. That was pretty good. So we went and watched it, and then I went and watched it again on Friday night. That was the Thursday night. I went and watched it again on Friday night because I was going with Ivan, but he couldn't make Thursday night, but I had already had tickets. And so I went with Quinn on Thursday night and then again on Friday night. Do not regret it, buying those tickets. But that Friday night, holy crap, I have never seen our theater that packed. The door was literally out the line for concessions and tickets and stuff, and they just came up with that new like twisty line to make it easier. Did not stop them. The line was like all the way into the arcade and out the door, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And Quinn, Ivan, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna get to concessions." I was like, "I already have the tickets on my phone. Let's just go like sit down." And he's like, "No, we're getting food." And I know better not to argue with him, so I was like, "All right, we're getting food." So we just stood in the line, and we got food eventually, and then we went and sat down, and it was a great movie. I do not regret watching that the second time. I walked out of there with a big smile, and I was like, "Yeah, that was pretty cool." And I just was like, "Okay, brother." He liked it. I know him, how he likes it and stuff. So, but yes, that theater was packed. Like, not even just like the theater itself on the outside of the line, but we walked in, and I was glad I bought like tickets a week before, and they weren't even like awesome tickets. Like, they were still off to the side, kind of like they were okay tickets. But like we had to like walk over people because there was not a seat empty on that Friday night at 7. It was nuts. And honestly, that made me happy. When you watch a movie that big, you want to be with a whole bunch of people because then you hear some clapping, some cheering, some laughter. It just makes the theater experience a lot more fun.
You'd feel the energy of the room as
You do. You feel the energy.
Watching like Endgame and stuff in a full theater.
Oh, yes. That is a movie experience. It's like a movie event, pretty much. That's what made it so good.
Imagine Fire and Ash, or Ash and Fire were very similar when you watched it full.
It was. There was a lot of clapping, a lot of cheering. There was one gal that just like was really into it, and she was gasping at everything. And I was like, "Okay, calm down. I get it." But like, it was an obnoxious. I was like, "All right, chill." Maybe you can never tell. All right, why don't you give just a quick recap of the movie? Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, I will put a fun spoiler alert thing.
You say quick. This is a 3.5 hour movie.
I know. As quick as we can. We don't want to keep you here for long.
All right. This is a segment called Quinn Tries His Freaking Best, so let's do this. First off, so there's this group of environmentalists trying to get this mineral called an unobtainium, which is such a dumb name for a plot device. I hate it. Why is it called unobtainium?
It's so obnoxious.
It's so obnoxious. Anyway, the movie itself opens with depression, as Jake and his family mourn the death of Jake's eldest son from the second movie. The family try and take a guy named Spider, who I cannot decide the age of. Is he 30? Is he 19? I cannot tell.
I think he's 16 or 17, I think I saw.
He is not. I disagree. To bring him to other humans, but they get ambushed by these crazy Na'vi. Na'vi is the race of blue people called the Manquan. Everyone gets separated. It's all scary and bad. And Spider dies because Pandora air is toxic to humans, and he didn't have an air mask. But Kiri does some weird hair tentacle things and revives him using mushrooms. Jake meets back with his children, but the Manquan captures them. Thanks to more Kiri... I forgot I wrote that joke into the script. I can't say that. Thanks to more Kiri tentacle nonsense, the plants kill Manquan, and the family flees. With Quaritch, a military guy who is Spider's biological father. Neytiri, Jake's wife, finds them and brings them to the good humans, and Quadrich leaves them and goes to make a deal with the Manquan, the crazy Navi's leader, Varong. And an actually really well done, interesting scene, which I will not make jokes of, because it was just a good scene. The bad humans and the Manquan team up to kill the Navi and to capture Jake, which they succeeded. While this is happening, Jake's son Loak is on a journey, because Jake was kind of an asshole, and said that Loak was the one responsible for his brother's death, Father of the Year. Loak finds Payakan, a member of an intelligent whale species who was outcast due to fighting in the last movie because the whale species are pacifists in nature. Spider and Jake
Yes.
save the government with the help of Neytiri, blowing up an entire fuel refinery because she's awesome. And the
Freaking
Navi,
awesome.
she's great. And the Navi prepare for war with the bad humans because the bad humans are going to kill the intelligent whale species for money or something.
The brain juices.
Brain juices, thank you. The whale elders.
I can't remember the name, but
yeah.
I was wondering why they were killing them. The whale elders are asked to fight, but and no longer be pacifist wusses, and they say, maybe. Jake connects with
Yeah.
maybe. Jake connects with a big old bird. I don't know who this is, but Joe kind of popped off in the movie theaters, and I would have gotten death glares if I didn't mention it.
Yes.
The Navi fight the bad humans. The whales come and fight back because they're no longer wusses. But the Menquan come and ruin everything. Neytiri now gets captured. Everyone's getting captured. Jake and Lowak make up, and the entire family saves Neytiri. Quadrants captures Spider again, and Jake runs after them. Basically, there's this whole scene of Jake and Spider having a father-son relationship. Jake was about to kill Spider. It's a whole thing. That's not important right now. Quadrants loses, falls into a big magnetic pillar. I think he's not dead, and he'll come back and save the next day after finding Navi Jesus or becoming Navi Jesus or something. Spider gets accepted as a Navi, and they all lived happily ever after. Nothing bad will ever happen again. Movie 4 and 5 will not exist because nothing will ever bad will happen to Jake's family again, ever.
Ever, yes. Because that's how these movies work.
Nah,
Yes.
it's not like Varong and Quadrants aren't still alive to ruin everything.
Varan is definitely still alive. They didn't try to kill her in that movie. And Courage just kind of fell into fire/water. So they really could be like, yeah, he died. Or they could be like, yeah, he lived.
Yeah, he lived.
So,
He found Jesus,
they call that, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a type of filmmaking trick that they do when they're like, they don't know if they're going to make another one, but maybe they won't. And so they like leave it like an open-ended kind of thing, but they make it so that it seems like maybe he did die, but like if they ever did come back, that they could also write it off that he did live, and then they could explain it. So it's very smart, and James is a veteran filmmaker, so I didn't expect nothing less for him with doing him. Yeah, no, that was a really quick recap. That was very simple. That is exactly what happens in the movie too. All that he got wrong were some of the names when explaining it. The whale species is called the tolkun. No, they're not in English. Tolkun is the whale species, and then no, you got the Bad Navi clan right. That was really good. And then the RDA is the bad humans. Well done. Yes, the RDA is the bad humans pretty much, and what they're after is the Tolkun's brain gland, because yes, in the second movie they explain how it literally stops human de-aging, how like exactly, and so then it becomes like worth trillions or stuff, and that's what's paying for the RDA on Pandora. So that is why they're like, all right, let's go kill all these Tolkun who come to the spirit tree for like mothering. It's a big ceremony, kind of like when you baptize your baby or something like that. And so it's like all the kids come. So that is what happens. And then they go, and that is where the final fight happens. The big bird is called Tolkun, or no, not Tolkun. Torok. Because then Jake is called Torok Makto, Rider of Last Shadow. So, or maybe it's Makto. I don't remember. One of those is the actual name of the giant
bird creature. I forget.
I think it's Torok. I think I read that in the Wikipedia article.
Yes, I think it's that. So then he goes to say, hey, let's go ride. So that happens. Big fight. Super cool. Loved that big fight. That was really good. Very reminiscent of the first movie. I think that was on purpose because this seems like James's last Avatar movie. If it doesn't get like approved, or he doesn't get like a whole bunch of people wanting the 4th and 5th one.
I thought 4th and 5th were already greenlit.
It's like they're not confirmed. They're greenlit, but they're not confirmed. It's really up to James. So, in my opinion, I think we could just go into review now. I think, yeah, we'll just go into review. Yes. So, review, amazing movie. Loved it. I think the third one is the best out of all three. Because it literally combines what was amazing of the first one and what was amazing of the second one. The third one has more water scenes, has more water creatures, but it also doesn't shy away from the forest. Like the first half of the movie is like forest, water, then back to forest, then to RDA. Like they really developed that really well, and so I love that. And it's just the third one had like such a over ending story. Like, yes, it was the second part, I think, of the second movie. Second movie is like part one. This is like part two. But like going into it, you could definitely watch it just by itself, like Quinn did, and kind of know what the story was about. There, like Quinn said, that Jake kind of seems like an a-hole, but he really does. He really is. After the second movie, if you watch it, you understand why he is like that. But in my like, I'd give it. I think on Letterbox I gave it a 4 star out of 5 because it was really good, great movie overall. Could change a couple things to make it amazing, but like it's just a great movie overall, and like I didn't hate on it, and I do not regret going to watch it twice in the theaters, even with inflation prices in the theaters. So, but I also think, and to close off my review, I think that James should stay on the project of Avatar for 4 and 5 if they do that, but as like a producer and writer. He knows the story. He wrote the first stories. He has written probably the whole story out. So keep him on as the writer and producer. But I think it's time for him to move off the Avatar project, because I remember watching an interview saying that he's just kind of done. He's done everything that he wants to right now with the third one. That was his story ending, but he wants to like do other stuff, and I think he should. But I think if they're gonna do a fourth and fifth, that he needs to stay on as a producer or a writer to like fully do it, because the fourth and the fifth are like confirmed to be the last if they ever do them. If they do them, the fourth and the fifth are going to be the last ones. So,
Or they could pull a Fast and Furious thing and be like, you know what? The fifth one did pretty well. Let's do 10 more.
you know what? They could, but these movies are expensive. The budget for Fire and Ash was $400 million, something like that. That is like double blockbuster movies. That's like double Endgame. I think Endgame only got up to like 250 million or something like that. I don't
Fortunately,
remember.
it made billions, so they didn't lose any money. But like,
It did.
how many movies
It
can they
did.
make before they start losing? Like, people start becoming disinterested.
Yeah, I think people are getting a little tired. I think what they should do is they should wait, like what they did with the second movie. They waited like 10 years, almost 10 years, maybe 9 years.
I mean, since first production or since it came out?
Well, since it came out from 09 to
To 2020.
22,
22.
that's
Yeah.
like 12 years.
13.
13, yeah, 13 years. I think they should wait, like from second one into the third one. It definitely was a shorter time, and I think people were like, oh, another Avatar movie. Like, I don't think
18 months?
yes, 18 months. No, that was 18 months for filming. They filmed the second and the third one at the same time, but that was over 18 months. So a long, long time. And they've already filmed some scenes for the fourth one if they do it, which is also why I think it costed a little more to do this third movie, because they were filming for the next one, which I think is good. Like, if they do the next one, there's going to be a time jump, but they still need to explain the time jump, and so they don't want to go right back to filming with all these actors who definitely look older now. I just looked at a before and after of like Spider. He looks old.
Right? Like, when you were like, oh, he's like 16 or something, you're like, that dude's not 16 or 17.
Yeah,
That
then you
dude's
see him
like
on the
20.
premiere.
That dude's like 23.
him on,
or
like,
24.
Premiere your red carpet, and you're like, whoa, that guy grew. So yeah, I think that is my review of the movie and what I think they should do next.
I guess I'll do my review. I liked it. It was a good movie. I thought that for the third movie, it did a really good job introducing the world without needing to introduce the world. Without needing to say, this is Pandora. It gave a really good idea of what Pandora is all about, the Na'vi and the Na'vi culture. And just without knowing anything about the previous two movies, I got a good grasp about what's going on. I will say, it's a really bad way to introduce me to the characters. Because in this movie, the only likable characters were Spider and Kiri, and maybe Portage.
Yeah.
Jake,
Yeah.
Neytiri, and Loak were really, really unlikable. Especially Jake. Did not like Jake. But everyone refers to Jake as a jokester, as a trickster, and that's probably true for the previous two movies. So I do kind of wish I did watch the previous movies to get a better feel for Jake and Neytiri's and Loak's personalities, since I feel like I didn't get a good grasp of their true selves in this movie.
I did tell you to watch the other movies before we went and watch the third one. And then when we went to go watch it, I was like, "So, you ready? Did you watch the first two?" You're like, "No." And I just went, "Oh, brother."
Yeah, I do have a slight criticism, other than the characters, but that's on me, that's not on the film. Slight criticism was that in all the action scenes, none of the main characters ever felt in real danger. And that's not just because they're the main characters, it's because they felt like they had an unbelievable amount of, plot armor. Like, the enemies, or the bad... The Menquan and the bad humans, they could not hit the broadside of a barn with guns, bows, crossbows, flamethrowers. Like, while Neytiri was flying through the air and there's like 3 or 4 Menquan after her, no one could hit her at all. And she was just dinking shot after shot after shot. Or while the airships at the start of the movie were... Oh, it was a great scene, don't get me wrong. But she should have been hit like a couple of times.
She did. She did get hit.
Or the first... scene where the airships get attacked. Again, Jake was laser beaming Menquan and everything, and no one could hit anyone else. It was only through, it was only Varong who was able to hit Neytiri and cause her being separated from the family.
Yeah.
Everything else, it felt like there was never really any danger for the main characters, and a good movie, or I wouldn't even say a good movie, a good action scene, the main characters should still feel like they're in danger, even if you know they're going to survive in the end. And I just didn't feel that from the action in this movie. I just never felt... I mean, the final scene where the Menquan fight the rest of Na'vi during... the final fight scene where that had tension. That was good. But while Neytiri was flying through the oil refinery and everything, that didn't feel like they were in any actual danger. That's just a small complaint that I had, and I mentioned it to you, Joe, after we watched it. I just felt like there was a good amount of plot armor with the main characters during a good amount of the fight scenes or the combat scenes in the movie.
They definitely had plot armor for sure. That was not absent. They weren't trying to hide that for sure. But honestly, I could even tell just because I was like, "Yeah, let's go!" He's flying around on the his Ikron, just shooting them. It was like, this is awesome. I was one of those nerds that were like, "I don't care what's happening. This is so cool." So this is why we have that side of the coin from Quinn, and then the side from me of realizing how hard it is to get those shots, filming mocap even of that fight scene. A lot of it has to be mocap, and so a lot of it, I saw some BTS, they modeled the Ikron that they're standing on, and they had to be in that weird squatting position the whole time, and they just had to do everything. And then what they do in post is they take that and then they just kind of shrink it down, and then you're in the background. You spent 3 days maybe filming you doing that for you to be a background guy flying around shooting or then die.
Because they know that people like you are going to kind of watch it multiple times and are going to dissect everything, and it's
Oh yes, for sure. I dissected the heck out of that thing.
Dang.
Yeah, like
Looking at that movie.
if any sort of mocap was wrong or was rushed, like people like you would see it and be like, "Hey, I see it. You rushed
I
that."
see it.
I see it. I see it. Yeah. So that was definitely crazy.
Overall,
But-
I'd give the series a 4 if I were to put it, or the movie as a 4 if I were to put it on Letterboxd, just because.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, does Letterboxd do half stars?
Yeah, they do have stars.
Probably closer to 3.5. It was a good movie. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. 3.5,
Yeah.
4. Anywhere, I could take either or. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I just had a couple of criticisms.
All right, and I'm just gonna close this off with this by just saying, the box office
Yes.
worldwide, it grossed $1.4 billion. Again, billion with a B.
Because
Billion. It's James Cameron. Like, that guy's a legend, and it's Avatar. So it was pretty crazy. Domestically, it only got 396,000.
396,000?
Yes.
I guess only domestically you're expecting it to be a bit lower than everything.
Maybe that's million. Hang on. Sorry. 396 million.
There it
That's
is. I was
million.
gonna say, that
I
is-
meant million.
That is missing like 4 or 5 zeros, I bet.
I definitely misread that. That is on me for sure. Yes, that's million, but still only million. And then internationally, we got 1 billion. So internationally, it did way better.
Yeah. Internationally is bigger than the U.S. by itself, so it makes sense.
Yeah. You know, the good old days. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you said that the budget was 400 million.
Yes,
It-
400 million.
It 3 times this budget, which is
This-
really good.
This is true. This is very true. It definitely like 2 times its budget for something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it made money.
Yeah.
It made money. I feel like that's the most important thing.
It showed the studios that it was worth it. It was worth
Yes.
funding it.
It was. So he made money. We're happy. He's happy.
If it is there, we'll be maybe a little sad, but we'll be happy.
Time for some controlled nerd chaos, as I am calling it, because why not?
Why?
I think that's
it's a fun
I
name.
think that's funny, and I just came up with it on the spot. So it's just this segment is just really a recap on like what are we watching currently, what are we going to watch this week until the next episode, and then later we'll tell you the homework for next week.
Yes.
So Quinn, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I mentioned it to you last night, but I have been watching through Mandalorian, finally getting through the 2nd season. And I've been having a blast with it. The Mandalorian is such a good series. The action in it is so good. I just got past the episode with the introduction of Bo-Katan and her Mando squad.
On the water world?
On the water world, yep, where she
Yes.
saves Mando and Grogu. And yeah, what I like about Mando is that he's not a good guy, but he's also not an a-hole. Where it's like, the first episode, he left a guy to be eaten by dogs. He threatened to kill like the mayor of a town because they were wearing Mandalorian armor. But the guy was like, "Hey, help us kill this thing, and I'll give you the armor, and it'll also save my town." And Mando was like, "You know what? I can do that." And so it's like, he's not a good guy. He will absolutely kill if he wants to kill you. But he's also a man of his word.
Sure.
And he will, befriend you if you just are nice to him. I'd consider him a good anti-hero,
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
An anti-hero. Yeah. Well, I'll just say you are in for the ride of your life, because man, I sure do love The Mandalorian. When that came out, I don't think anybody was expecting that because
And one of
I'm
the
sorry. I love that show so much.
I
I
know.
can't put it into words how much I love that.
Yeah, you or this is one of the first projects Pedro Pascal has. One of the first things that put him on the map, I feel like, because
Oh,
we
for
see
a
him,
lot of people, I think.
yeah, we see him everywhere today. You know, some people are annoyed by it. I love it. I think he's a great actor. I don't mind seeing him in a lot of things. Um,
Yeah, I think people just give him a lot of hate when they don't need to.
yeah, but this was really his first dive into um from what I remember, because he's been in a couple things before this. But Mando was where I think he took off and took off strong.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, he definitely knew exactly what he was doing. So, and he understood the character. I think that's a very important too is that like he understood what was happening with the Mandalorian and he could tell you exactly what he was going through and how he was reacting to it.
yeah. He is very smart when it comes to acting and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very good. Let's see. What am I
Yeah. What are you? You got anything watching? Anything you're binging?
binging right now? Okay, so restarted watching The Witcher series on Netflix.
First season was incredible.
Yes, first season is probably one of my favorite fantasy television shows out there.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, Henry Cavill does an amazing job,
I
and
bet. I mean, Henry Cavill is what everyone talks about when they think of The Witcher, but what's their name? Hold on, give me a second.
the actress,
I mean
or
the actress for Siri, Yennefer, and the actor for Dandelion,
yes,
all of them.
yes, Gear.
Uh, yes, Gear. Yeah,
I
Dandelion's
do like,
his stage name.
I do love Yes Gear. He's so fun.
He's so great. Like all of the actors and actresses give it their all. You know, Henry Cavill is
Mhm.
who people think of, but it's like the show wouldn't be the same without everyone else.
No, you're completely right. It's not the same without uh, Henry. I mean, it. Liam Neeson takes over the job in season 4.
Liam Neeson,
Yeah, or
not Neeson.
Liam Hemsworth.
There
My
it is.
gosh,
Liam
Liam
Neeson
Hemsworth.
is in the Naked
Liam
Gun.
Neeson is Naked Gun Taken guy. Yes, not Liam Neeson. No, Liam Hemsworth takes over the job in season 4, and I watched the first episode like recently, but then I realized like, holy crap, it's been a while since I've come back to the show, and so I was like, I just need to rewatch the series before I go further into season 4.
Yeah.
So I'm rewatching it. But the first episode of season 4, listen, Henry Cavill will always be my Witcher. He will always be Geralt of Rivia. But uh, Liam does a great job. Like I will give props to him. He had some big shoes to fill,
Yeah.
and he looks the part. He looks good, and he does. I don't know if it's post editing. I'll have to look this up. But like the way he just lowers his voice to a deep monotone, it sounds good. It can't compare it to Henry's, but it is good. And I'm a huge fan of the show and the books. The books are amazing. Go read the books for sure.
I
Because
have the first one, but I haven't read it yet.
oh, it's good. The books are good. I like the books. Um, and the first season follows the first book super great, super well, but then just stop there. Like then it just turns into its own thing. Same with the books. Like it's in the same world, but it's like a condensed version on Netflix.
Mhm.
So like just take it at your own pace, and honestly, it's to your own opinion. I like the show. The show is really good because I'm the filmmaker, and they do a really good job. In any like high quality fantasy show that isn't Game of Thrones, I'm sorry to all you Game of Thrones fans, I do not like that show.
I've never watched
I
it.
I I don't like. I see the appeal. I've watched the first season. It's not good. I watched the first season just to see what the hype was about, and it was like it's the greatest show ever. I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to watch this. Like, cool, I love fantasy television, but like there was like zero fights. It was just bickering and like anyway.
It's more of a
I
drama than than a
it is. It's a
fantasy.
fantasy. It's a fantasy drama, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Give me my fun spells, witches, witcher
I was gonna
show.
say, yeah,
Like,
it's not quite the action adventure of The Witcher.
oh, Witcher's so good. Like, who would have thought that when you mix swords and magic, you would get something amazing?
Who
Oh
would have
wait,
thunk?
who would have thought? They did in the '80s and created Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
But so that's the show I'm watching right now. Oh, I'm also watching Monarch.
That's
Legacy of Monsters. It's on Apple TV. We just got Apple TV Plus here at my house, and so I'm trying to catch up on all those shows. Watching Ted Lasso, freaking love that show. Oh my gosh, if you haven't watched that, that cures your depression. It does. I am patenting that. That cures it.
I've watched a couple of episodes. It's a good show. I enjoy it.
It's so good. I love that show so much. And they're coming out with a fourth season.
Yeah.
Summer.
Oh, that's right. They are.
Yes.
I remember hearing that.
Yes, and from what I've read online and going on Reddit and reading the consensus of Ted Lasso fans is that nobody's against it. Everybody's really interested, I will say. I mean, there's definitely some haters out there who think they should have just left it alone.
Yeah.
But honestly, if they're bringing back everybody's the same. Same writers, same actors. Like, it's going to be exactly what we got before. So I'm really interested to see what they do now. But like I'm excited. I love Ted Lasso, and there's a reason it's been in like Apple's like top 5 watched things on their streaming platform since it came out in like 2019 or something like that. Like it's never gone down. It's never been off the charts. It's always been up there.
It reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the sense that like it's a comedy. It's hilarious as a comedy, but it can also touch those serious dramatic topics with such dignity and clarity. It can handle the dramatic and the emotional so well, but its humor comes so good. It comes at the right time and at just the right level. Yeah.
It does. And I think that's why it's done so well and why the writers of that show are definitely world renowned, and a lot of people are trying to hire them and trying to get them for their show. Yeah. And that when like new shows are coming out for trailers, it says the writers behind Ted Lasso. That's when it piques your interest and you go, okay, I'm interested.
You have my my attention now.
You have my full attention now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's it for me. What I'm watching, I'm just doing a whole bunch of other like work stuff and school things, other things like that. You know, boo.
Life is boring right now.
Life is a little boring right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Boring means stable most of the time.
This is true. This is true. Okay, let's get into our final segments. We need to discuss on what we are doing next time.
What are we doing next time?
What are we doing next time? So, upcoming movies on Friday, we have nothing really. There is a movie on Amazon called Bluff. It's about it's pirates. Ooh. It honestly looks really cool. We may have to check that out. That comes out next weekend, I believe. So we're getting ready for Oscars, and so there's a bunch of Oscar nominations re-releasing. Just like Hamnet is releasing in some theaters. It's okay.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, just because I'm super into all Oscars and Academy Awards and all that kind of stuff. So I will be updating you every here and there about Oscar stuff and Academy Award stuff and all that fun jazz. This is coming out. How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley. I saw this trailer. It's an A24 film, and it's about this like second cousin in this like super wealthy family, and it's all about how he can like get to the top, and so the whole premise of the film is like how he can like make it look like an accident, but kill his like family to get to the top.
Oh, it's him. Yeah, Glenn Powell.
Yes, it's him.
Yep.
Yes, anyone but you, Glenn Powell.
Yeah, looks not getting great reviews.
It looks interesting. Hasn't come out yet. I didn't look at any early reviews. I didn't know this was coming out
Early reviews
this
are
year.
kind of rough.
Oh.
But Fire and Ash also had similar reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is true. Fire and Ash had some rough early reviews, but it is A24. A24 is always a hit and miss kind of thing. They make some great ones. They make some terrible ones.
It's a hit a lot of the times, but they do have
most of the time.
Most of the time. Misses, yeah.
They have some misses, but I mean, everywhere, but once or everywhere, anywhere, all at once.
Nowhere, anywhere. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Something. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. The Bagel movie.
The Bagel movie.
The Bagel movie. That movie, awesome. Love that one. And it's crazy that it was done by like a small little studio.
Everything, everywhere. All at once.
Yes. Could do some sort of like movie draft.
Yeah.
Or we could try to figure out some sort of movie game. Something like that.
I have a fun idea. I don't know if you've done it before. I thought about it. A non-superhero draft. So say you were a superhero, who would you have in your back corner? So it's like, how Spider-Man has their MJ or their Gwen, Superman has their Lois and their
So like a non-superhero companion draft?
Yeah. Like who would you want in your back corner if you were a superhero?
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be doing a game. I think we're going to do game. Yeah. We will decide later, but I think you can definitely count on a shorter episode next. This was just a really good intro and what to show you what we're going to be doing and how this is going to be. Yes, some technical difficulties if you couldn't tell. I promise I have my like batteries and stuff coming, so it shouldn't happen again. This was just like oh crap, we went longer than I was planning, and my camera is like super beefy and records 4K. So it got hot and it died. It died. So that's why you're switched to my other camera and why I'm holding my microphone. But I think that is it for us. Quinn, did you have anything left to say to our audience?
No, that's about all I can think of.
You heard it here, folks. That's all he can think of. And honestly, that's all I can think of, too.
Head empty, no brain.
Pretty much. We will come back next time. I don't know when this is going to release, but it will.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy watching, audience. I'm Josiah Short.
I'm Quinn Hogan.
We regret nothing. Thanks for listening to Pardon My Geek podcast.